Let's say you only did 5 deals in your life. 5 rental properties or 5 flips. I'm going to show you the dramatic difference it'll make the time you retire. Let's dive into it.
Welcome to the smack that's the beat down. The SWAT team is here on another beautiful day of shutting the week down.
Hey guys, my name is Dauria. I am a full-time real estate investor. I live solely off the passive income that my rental property generates alone. I buy properties, I fix them up, I rent them, I do cash out refinance, allowing me to keep buying properties, basically a never-ending stream of money and properties. More properties equals more money. That's what my channel is about, is achieving your financial freedom through real estate way sooner than you might believe it's possible. The goal of this video is to show you with the same amount of effort, whether you did buy and fix and flipped 5 properties or took those same 5 properties, you've already done the same amount of work and just held them for the long term and then sold them later on. Here is what it's going to look like. Okay, so these are our 5 different properties. These are our 5 other properties as well. This is our 5 flips. These are our 5 rentals. This is what the numbers are going to look like. Okay, on these 5 properties, this one here is $60,000 profit you made off of that one. The next is $80,000, the next is $30,000, $25,000, and then you knocked it out of the park at $150,000. The total of all of these combined are $345,000. But wait, because you are flipping properties, you have to pay now what's called capital gains taxes, and that comes out to, we're going to say, 30%. Okay, so capital gains taxes on that is $103,500. Youch. That's like several different profits just given to the government, guys. That's insanity. And I hear that here in 2021, we actually have a higher capital gains tax than that, but we're only going to say it's 30% for now. Okay, so that brings us to a net. That is what we get to keep at the end of the day of our kick butt kind of year, because I consider this, hey, $241,500 is not a bad year for flipping. Now, flipping is a lot of work, guys. If my opinion, if you're going to buy the property, you're going to put that much time and energy into it, hold it for long term. These numbers are going to blow your mind because flipping is a full-time job. And guys, I'm not talking 40 hours a week. I'm not talking 50 hours a week, guys. If you want to pull these kind of numbers, you probably are managing or into it or combined of thereof, whatever, of 60 plus hours a week if you're going to be knocking a flip out every 60 days, guys. And that includes finding the properties, managing the managers, etc., 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 guys. You guys get the idea. This right here is a very, very active income stream. The next is going to be what we call passive income stream. And for this one, our 5 rentals, we're going to start off, each property is going to rent for $1,000 a month. Now, just to make things really simple, because this can get way complicated and convoluted, we're assuming all of these are paid for. Okay, so we're going to take just the finance out of the equation. Guys, I get it. This is for just a demonstration of the numbers at the end, because once you throw in APRs and financing and hard money and private money, it gets really, really convoluted and complicated. I'm trying not to make this video 30 minutes long. Okay, so each one of these properties rent for $1,000 a month. And for this demonstration, we're going to assume that we bought all these at 25 years old and we held them until we're 65 and then we just decided to sell them. Okay, hey, we sold these properties and that was the max potential that we could have got out of these properties. So now we're going to see what the max potential we can get out of these properties, because nobody said you can't sell these, but you're going to hang on to them and you're going to capitalize on them in the meantime. That's what we're going to be doing. So you're going to buy them at 25, you're going to hold them until you're 65. This right here, guys, you can say, I can flip and flip and flip every single year. You can. Eventually, this will still make more money than this. This will make more in the beginning. This will make a lot more at the end. Also, this right here is passive. You can make this while you're sitting on the beach. This right here, there is no beach for you. Okay, so $1,000 a month is going to equal $60,000 per year. But we don't care about year one, because if we only cared about 1 year, we would really be going against the grain. we did this. Assuming properties here, like they do in North Texas, we're just gonna assume that rents go up by 4% per year. So we start off by $60,000 per year. Now we're talking about gross numbers, okay? We'll get to the net in a minute. $60,000 a year, and then we are gonna fast forward down. Now all of a sudden at 4%, every increase every single year, now we're at say $103,899. This is a yearly amount, and then we'll cut that into a third. Now we're up to $166,345 about 30 years later, all the way up to now you are making just over $250,000 at $276,977. It's an annual rent gross income. Now you might be saying, well, how do you calculate all this? And this is how I calculated all this. I added all of this up, okay? 40 years worth of income. Also, every one of these properties now have been appreciating. So, and you might be asking, how much were these properties worth, guys? We're assuming about $100,000, okay? $1,000 in rent, $100,000 property. So at 65 years old, you now have a total equity of $1.5 million, believe it or not. Now, this does not include your cash flow, your gross cash flow. Now, this is not the profit, okay? This is gross cash flow, same thing with that number. Your gross cash flow on this is a whopping, and I can't remember this number, I tried 3 times, $5,701,434. This number here. And your net cash flow, now the way I determine net cash flow off the gross is approximately 60%. Now this is on a paid off property. 60% of your inflow is actually net. 40% are expenses and vacancies and repairs, property management. You guys get the idea. As long as you bought it right and the cash flow is where it needs to be, 40% approximately are going to be expenses. So this brings us to a net cash flow from 25 to 65 on your rental properties with 4% appreciation of, and I can't remember this number again, $3,420,860. This number here. Okay, so at this point, we can also take advantage and liquidate the properties and say we're done with rentals, we walk. Now let's see how much cash we can walk with. So we're gonna add $3.4 million. We're gonna sell the properties, which are worth $1.5 million. That brings us to a whopping $4.9 million. And I just got rid of all the extra cents and all that stuff because at the end, it could be like whatever. Because for instance, here in North Texas, our rents have actually tripled in the last 15 years. That is way more than 4% a year. But I know what you guys are thinking, and I want to do some more numbers for you here really quick, okay? Let's assume this. Let's assume rents never increased. Let's say we bought in, I'm not going to say it, but a specific northeastern state from Texas, okay? And they have amazing cash flow, pretty much like non-existent, you know, like appreciation and rent increase. Everything is just pretty flat, okay? So this number here is the number I came up with because if rents never ever went up ever, you would gross $2.4 million and you would net $1.4 million, and that does not include selling your properties, guys, whatever those properties might be worth in a different state. Let's assume you just got your money back, which, like, this is real estate. That's not going to happen. In 40 years, it's going to be many, many times worth, okay? But you've got a net of 1.4. You've got 5 properties here. You're basically walking away with $2 million, and that would be like worst case scenario, like really unrealistic scenario, okay, guys? But you're still comparing it to $241,000. Now, the goal of this video, guys, because I know there's a lot of different ways to look at it. The goal of this video is how much can you make on the same amount of effort, okay? Yes, you can do this every single year. You can also do this every single year as well. It doesn't have to be 1. It can be 2. It could be 12. It could be 20. It could be 1 every 3 years. You can hard money it, and you can put half down. You put 20%, 3 down. You can house hack. I mean, this can get really, really messy. Okay, but this is what I want to show you guys. Okay, for the amount of effort that you're putting in, the same amount of effort, you bought them, you rehabbed them both. Instead of selling them here, you just rented them, hired a property manager so you don't have to take the day-to-day calls on the toilets and all that good stuff. And then at the very end, you just got rid of them anyways, okay? So basically, you bought them, you collected the rent, and you got the appreciation and all the tax deductions, because you might be saying, well, you're going to have to pay a lot of tax on that. You're not going to have to pay near as much. It's not going to be anywhere close to 30%, because the IRS here in America actually makes you take a deduction called depreciation. And what depreciation is the amount of money that you specifically bought the house for. Say you bought it for $100,000, okay? You're going to take, I think it's 27.5 years divided by 100,000. That's going to be your automatic deduction you're going to take yearly on that property against your actual income. Okay, so your actual income is more of a phantom loss, and then you pay on what's left. So the actual amount you're going to be paying in taxes are a whole lot less on this side than they are on this side. This side is very, hey, what did you make? 30% capital gains. Like, it's hard to you can't really get around that legally, of course. On this side, the government definitely wants to be your partner, and they definitely want to help you out, guys. Guys, I hope I didn't go over the top and blow your minds with too much information here. I was trying to make this kind of as simple as possible. What I want to show you, this is how you build generational wealth, guys, is, well, this side over here, okay? This right here is a great way to start, by the way. To build capital, knock this out a handful of times, and then go over here, guys. It's a great way. I'm not saying don't flip houses. I'm not saying you can't make a lot of money flipping houses, okay? But for the same amount of effort, if you put it into the long run and you're looking long term, guys, it makes a lot more sense to buy and hold. Not to mention, you can go back and pull out equity as it builds up in the term of a cash out refi, doing a snowball effect, guys. And we're not going to go into that because this video is long enough, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button, smashing that like button if you like this content at all. And until next time, I will see you on the next one.